Welcome to another installment of the APB recap. Let's get straight to the first hoopla. We Indonesians have a lot of issues with each other, but if there's one thing that will unite us together is idiot foreigners. Gaijin bodoh. Baka bule. The world leaders are gathering up to the G20 meeting here in Bali. These guys are not the dumb ones here. Except Trudeau. I mean, seriously, button up your shirt, you dingus. And speaking of shirt, the shirts that these people are wearing got some comments. What on earth are these idiots wearing? It's a button-up formal shirt with batik texture. It's called indak. People wear them all the time. I wear them to go to work. And I wear them here. Out of spite. Apparently, this is coming from a far-right British grifter. The grifter in question received death threats and messages. Wow. I just love the fact that a first-world foreigner on Twitter is complaining that they're being oppressed by the netizens of third-world countries. And I just love the fact that this is a hoopla that unites both Indonesian citizens and government officials. Two sides that are always fighting against each other are united against a common enemy.
British?
We normally find our politicians pandering to groups and cultures for PR purposes cringy and try-hard. In some cases, yes. Not in this one, you absolute prick. There was no intent to offend any culture's tradition. We would criticize politicians even if they wear an East London hoodie just to relate to the area. Hold on. Let's backtrack for a moment. Even if all of them are buck naked to the meeting, at which part of your original tweet constitutes as criticism? Your criticism is you saying that what they are wearing is outrageous. You are implying that what they are wearing is bad. Do you see why people are mad at you? All cultures and traditions have their own unique characteristics and shouldn't randomly be insulted or be taken advantage of by politicians and celebrities for attention-seeking purposes. But they're not trying to take advantage of cultures and traditions. It's a formal dress code for us. You absolute dingus.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the very first hoopla of today. In case you missed it, all of these hooplas and more are available on my APB show channel, linked down below. Now, before we get to the first hoopla, I want to say huge thanks to our sponsors for today, and that is you guys. There are lots of sponsors recently out there that got exposed as unreliable and scams. You guys are not one of them. So if you want to be part of the channel, just $1 in any of these sites, and you will see your names among these awesome people. So again, check out the links down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and also the APB Show stream channel. For all of you government officials out there, do not make a Discord server. Please do not make a Discord server. His Majesty's Treasury from the UK made one, and it really didn't end very well. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt got called... There are users with funny names coming in like Thatcher's Corpse or Fuck the Tories. Some pinned messages have the emoji reactions saying, fuck the royals. I really don't know what's going on in the minds of His Majesty's Treasury, but I do know this. This is really hilarious. FIFA President Gianni Infantino decides to make a statement in regards to the 2022 World Cup that is happening today. Now, you don't have to care about the World Cup for the supla. You just need to listen to what he said. Today, I feel Qatari. Today, I feel Arab. Today, I feel African. Today, I feel gay. Today, I feel disabled. Today, I feel a migrant worker. I mean, I know that the intention is that you're trying to express empathy, but the sentence just sounds incredibly silly. It's especially silly when you have to make it to a sexual context. By that context, you had sex with a Qatari, an Arab, an African, a gay person, a disabled person, and a migrant worker. Or maybe he had sex with a 1/3 Qatari, 1/3 Arab, 1/3 African, gay, disabled migrant worker. You know how you can be so anti-racist that you end up going to the opposite side and be racist, but in a different camp? Here's a proof of that. I pretty much fucking hate living in Whitey land. Woo, jeez. If you hate living in Whitey land so much, maybe Blackie land is more up to your liking.
I heard it.
No. I take that back. Brownie land. That's my skin color. Now I'm not racist. Every time I see a black person or brown person, I just want to be like, listen, if anybody fucks with you, here's my number and my address. Great tactic there, dude. Someone tries to screw you over because you're not white? Here, let me dox myself for you, total stranger. You have a safe place to go. White people are nuts, but you can't do that without being weird. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because it has something to do with calling white people nuts. I mean, I might agree with you, but you don't have to say that out loud. Okay, now you can play it.
You're racist!
Showering is an essential thing that you should do every single day. But some people don't think so. Apparently. Showering is the worst. You mean I've gotta clean this body again? Yes. Yes. Even for small activities, you produce sweat. It will smell. It is now unprecedentably filthy. Stand in this loud wet box and confront your mortal vessel. You can't even play a phone game. You can play phone games in the bathtub. A lot of modern phones these days even have the IP water resistance rating. My phone is a Samsung S21 FE. This one has IP68, which can last up to 1.5 meter underwater for 30 minutes. If you don't believe me, check on your phone model and search for water testing. There are lots and lots of videos demonstrating that a lot of modern phones these days have some really good water protection. Point is, with the right phone, you can still play games on the tub. And even if you don't have the IP rating, you can even buy one of those waterproof accessories and still use them in the tub. So, no excuse for not going to the tub or shower. What's the excuse again? Disability, apparently. This post is apparently dedicated to people who have ADHD and disabled people. Okay, there's a big difference between I can't shower and I don't want to shower. If you can't shower, it means that you physically cannot clean your body. By that point, you're gonna need something or someone else's help. I don't want to shower is one ticket straight to being blasted with a power washer. That is the mindset that you are encouraging. You are encouraging people to not care about themselves. I don't have sympathy from people who don't want to help themselves. Doesn't matter if you're disabled, doesn't matter if you're depressed, if you don't help yourself, if you encourage people to not help themselves, if you don't actively seek other people's help, you do not have my sympathy. And frankly, you don't deserve any. Elon Musk said that Twitter allows freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. In other words, you can say whatever you want, but if the things that you say are hateful or negative, they are going to be suppressed, deboosted, demonetized even, implying that tweets have ad revenues. All the hateful things that you say, people aren't going to listen to them on this platform because they got lowered and lowered in the algorithm. So to put it simply, you can say whatever you like, but Twitter will only allow certain things that you say in the algorithm. Things that are not hateful or bigoted. I can see why they implement this, but a lot of the parts on Twitter are nothing but hate and bigotry. The algorithms can only do so much at repressing them. I guess people need to learn how to be passive-aggressive. Or be aggressive in a polite way, I guess. Personally, I say just let what's being shown dictated based on the engagement. Yes, Twitter engagement can be bought, but at least the metrics are more tangible and more easily proven rather than, say, vague concepts like hate or bigotry. Some people find certain statements hateful, some don't. Either way, at least you're gonna see them on Twitter. Because Twitter. Relationships are difficult, especially when you have a history. Some histories are weirder than others. This girl was talking to a guy on Tinder, but when he found out that her body count was close to triple digits, he went quiet and ghosted her. Well, maybe if you don't kill people that much, he wouldn't mind less. I know what she meant as body count, but I just find it funny that it has to be termed that way. I mean, I know that lots and lots of people have histories and stuff, but close to triple digits? I mean, how many one-night stands that you're willing to go through, lady? It's just a little bit excessive, is what I'm saying. That large body count means that you're not valuing your private parts that much, and that a lot of guys can enter in and out. Literally. A lot of guys prefer girls that either keep them intact or have minimal damage. Some have a certain tolerance to them, some don't. I'm sure you'll find guys who can tolerate your body count. This person just might not be it. Well, oof. Here's one silly article. We need to start holding JRPGs to higher standards. That is assuming that Kotaku is someone that can hold things to higher standards. This is in relation to Yoshi P saying that he prefers diversity of characters rather than skin color, which we talked about last week. This Kotaku article took diversity and representation into absolute lunacy. If we're trying to measure the artistic achievement of a prestige game, then inclusivity should be evaluated as seriously as we might consider technical elements such as the graphics, cinematography, or the responsiveness of the controls. Wow. In other words, who cares about the game? If the game doesn't include me, then the game doesn't have any artistic merits. I don't think the arguments that we simply can't expect Japanese devs to understand race and racism are necessarily made in good faith. Who made that argument, lady? They are perfectly aware of race and racism. They just don't want to brandish your type of inclusivity, which implies that people of color don't have empathy whatsoever. Gamer Chuts want Japan to be a safe space from all of that SJW nonsense. Yes! Yes!
Yes, 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 yes. Yes!
GamerChats want Japan to be a safe space from all of that SUW nonsense, regardless of what's good for JRPGs as a genre or what actually makes good business sense. That would imply that your criticism improves JRPG as a genre. It doesn't. And that would imply that your criticism improves the game's long-term business. It doesn't. So Pixiv was trending last week, and the reason why it's trending was because the terms of service has changed. Apparently on Pixiv, you cannot monetize your content if it features the following categories. All of these stuff are actually pretty common on Pixiv and are still being posted even to this day. Fictional, of course. The difference is, in the new terms of service, you're not allowed to monetize content that has any of these things, even if they're fictional. You can post on a website just fine, or at least on paper, it's fine, but you cannot monetize them. This isn't really because of Pixiv, this is actually because of the two payment processors, MasterCard and Visa. Both of them have these in their terms of service, and if Pixiv wants to do business with them, they cannot have these content monetized. In business sense, it's better for Pixiv to not lose the two payment processors that pretty much almost everyone use. I mean, I have MasterCard and Visa cards myself. In a sense of creative freedom, technically speaking, Pixiv doesn't really hamper you on posting these pictures, or at least you think they don't. There are some artists like Hughes saying that their works on Pixiv got yeeted off of the platform. So no, it seems like Pixiv is also cracking down on the content that falls under this umbrella, regardless of the payment processors. The issue with the crackdown isn't, oh, these content are terrible, therefore it's okay if they start cracking down. The issue is, this is a slippery slope. If they start cracking down on these content, there will be some point in the future where they will crack down on other forms of content that don't fall under this umbrella. And sooner or later, the website's gonna go on the route of Tumblr, where they just straight up ban 18+ content. Regardless, there are loads and loads of alternatives out there. In fact, I suggest you guys to post your artworks and portfolios to as many websites as you can. Don't put everything in one basket. And I also suggest you guys to keep the backup files of all of your artworks. External hard drives these days are pretty cheap, and you really should invest in one to keep your data secure. If must, you can even make your own website with your own domain and your own server. Basically anything to ensure that your content is still available for everyone to consume. And finally, we have more representation nonsense. Reading classics as a person of color is all fun and games until the inevitable moment where it hits you that no part of the story had been imagined with you in mind. Well, duh? That's to be expected with almost every story ever. They don't write the story with you as a reader in mind. Unless you're talking about choose your own adventure books or second-person perspective books. And even if the character in question has the same skin color as me, it's still not me. We non-white people are not a freaking monolith. You're not this author's expected reader. Even as you're loving the story, it doesn't and can't love you back. Do you seriously expect stories to love you back? Do you have parental issues?
Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents?
These were not really my creations. They did not contain my history. I might search them in vain forever for any reflections of myself. I was an interloper. This was not my heritage. So, me. Seriously, that's all your arguments. And you wonder why I call this narcissism. And that's all for the recap today, guys. Thank you so much for watching the recap. This recap wouldn't be possible without all of your support. So if you want to support this channel, please check out the links down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.